Hello everybody, welcome to Ronald McDonald House Charities Alberta and our brand new house here in Medicine Hat. We're so excited to show off this facility and to give you a glimpse into what's going to go on here in the southeast corner of Alberta. My name is Jason Evanson. I'm the CEO for Ronald McDonald House Charities Alberta, and I'm going to be serving as your host for the next 20 or so minutes. This facility was made possible by some very generous donors at the Ewell Family Foundation. Bill and Elizabeth Ewell in particular, they made this facility possible, and we cannot thank them enough. In fact, they own the land that we're standing on now. And what you see in front of you is the original bungalow that was on this property, built in the 1950s. And what we've done is a renovation of that space and an addition onto the back. We now have 4,100 square feet and 6 private suites to accommodate the families who have kids being treated at the hospital next door. Come follow me, let's take a look. When families arrive here, they'll have the opportunity to park out front of the building or in behind. And we've got ample room for handicap parking and for any vehicles that are oversized that come to us from southern Alberta, as they so often do. Families can approach the front door from either the front or the back of the building. And this welcoming door is in fact the main entrance to the house. But before we go inside, let's take a look at the backyard. At the Ronald McDonald House, we want to make sure that people have a comfortable experience no matter where they are at the facility. And here in the backyard, we've got some seating for folks, a place where they can have a fire, maybe a coffee early in the morning, or have a late night chat. And we get a lot of southern exposure here at the house, and it's absolutely beautiful when the sun is out. It looks like we got a lot of viewers with us today. We've got some television cameras flying overhead. Our main parking area is in behind the house, and then of course we've got a place for kids to play. And here in Canada and Alberta, we're already getting into fall. The leaves are flying, and if it's too cool for folks outside, then they can head indoors. Families would typically have a fob in order to get access through the house, and that helps with our security throughout the building. And of course, in order to enter, you've got to use the intercom to get the attention of the staff that are here 24/7.
Hi, Jason.
Well, fancy meeting you here, Cassie Hyder. She's the general manager for the house.
Come on in. Welcome to our home.
Cassie, we're just so excited to have this facility available to the community. We've had a few families come in over the course of the last couple of weeks that we've been open. What are they saying about the facility?
The families are so grateful to have that home away from home, and so fortunate to be able to have the comforts that they need when they're going through a stressful time. So they are so grateful to have this in the community.
Awesome. Well, let's carry on and take a look at the main floor of the house here. So as they come through the vestibule, which is double doored in order to ensure that the facility is secured, you enter into a main hallway here, and you can turn left into the family room and the dining room, or you can enter into one of 6 of our family suites here within the house. Each suite is very well appointed, and we're able to configure the spaces in ways to accommodate a variety of different families. So you may have a single queen, 2 queens. We're able to get in a crib or a cot in order to make sure that everybody that's staying at the house while their child is at the hospital next door has a place to sleep. And of course, each private family suite has its own individual washroom. This one here happens to be accessible, as is the entire main floor of this building. Of course, when you kick back in bed, you might want to take in a television program, so we've got TVs in all of our rooms, as well as some of our common spaces upstairs and down in the basement. Joining me now is Craig Elder. Craig works at RBC, and he's one of our board members. Craig, what made you to decide to volunteer for our organization?
Well, Jason, thanks for asking. My family decided to help support the house because my children were born premature and had to spend time in Calgary, and we realized that for a lot of families that don't have support networks within a community, this is such a great facility and helps so many in all the different communities that we're in Alberta, and figured it would be something to have a local voice for this new local house.
Wow. You know, Craig, last year there were roughly 1,200 families served by the Royal McDonald House right across the province. And of course, Medicine Hat is our 4th facility. We have one in Calgary, Edmonton, and Red Deer as well. And the families that came to our houses came to us from 275 communities, about 200 of those here in Alberta and the others from across Canada, and even some folks from further afield. Craig, thanks so much for all that you do as a board member for Ronald McDonald House Charities. And thank you to all of our volunteers that work so tirelessly to support the Ronald McDonald House. And without them, this house simply wouldn't be possible. We couldn't have got the construction done, nor could we have been operating the last 2 weeks or into the future, because it takes a lot of hands to make things work here at our facility and with our organization. Thanks, Craig.
Thanks, Jason.
Let's go ahead and head downstairs here. This is a 3-story building, and we've got 2 bedrooms on each floor, along with a variety of common areas. The house is 4,100 square feet, and we tried to take advantage of every single square foot. Here's a great place where kids and moms and dads and caregivers can have a little bit of fun. And then, of course, we've got 2 bedrooms on this floor as well. I just entered into a vestibule. And the vestibule was designed to give families that are larger an opportunity to have 2 rooms if we've got space within the house. So the first door that I just walked through would be keyed, and then the family would have access to 2 individual suites should they require that much space. We've got vestibules here on the main floor as well as upstairs on the 3rd floor. As we walk through the back of the house into the original building that was built in the 50s, we have the laundry room. And believe it or not, this is an absolutely critical space within the house. We're expecting an average length of stay in Medicine Hat of 3 to 5 nights. And families will be coming from all over the southeastern portion of our province. And if you're here for a few days, you may have packed light and have a need to do a load. And if you run over to the hospital after you've got your wash started, you can always ask a volunteer or a staff member to put it from the washer into the dryer. We want to try to take care of you and ensure that your focus remains on kids as much as possible. Here we've got a public washroom on this floor, and then a lovely family room here for families to kick back and to relax. Now I'm going to share a little bit of a secret. This looks like an average bookshelf, doesn't it? It's actually a secret entrance to the magic room. But you know what? You're not going to have the opportunity to see it today. You're going to have to tune into our next Facebook Live presentation in order to take in the very special space that's in behind this door. Of course, a house wouldn't be a home without storage. And so here we've got all of the things that we give away to families, some of the supplies that are required. And next to the storage room, we've got our mechanical room, which not everybody finds really exciting, but in our case, this is a really amazing space because of the technology that's been built into it. One of the things that we're most proud of is the HVAC system. This system allows individualized climate control in every single space of the house. So if you like it really cold when you sleep at night, you can dial down the thermostat to 17 degrees and not worry about your neighbor who's in the building with you who might like it to be really warm and have the thermostat turned up to 22. Come on, let's carry on upstairs. The Ronald McDonald House is part of a global network of houses that exist. And here in Canada, we're really proud of the reach that we have within our own country. But actually operate in 65 different countries around the world. And today, there's just over 370 houses that are in operation. Get this. Last year, there were 2.5 million overnight stays. Here, our houses tend to operate full because there's a tremendous demand for the services that we provide. And the donors here in Medicine Hat have given so generously to support everything that we do. In fact, not only were we able to construct this building, in large part thanks to the Ewell Family Foundation, we've also been able to create a bit of a nest egg. We generated funds for the operation of this facility for the next 5 years. And what that's done is given us every opportunity to focus on the families that are here and to ensure that they get the attention that they deserve so that they can help their child get well next door. So again, we're here in the vestibule where we met Cassie earlier. And when families come into the house after their check-in, and right now during COVID, some special protocols to make sure that we're mitigating the risk of the virus getting into our facilities. From here, they would carry on into the house. And last time we turned to take a look at one of our family suites. Now we're going to enter into the main living area. And imagine that. Here's Carly. She doesn't need any introduction. Carly is our local McDonald's owner-operator and a part of our founding and forever family McDonald's. That's an organization that has backed our organization since our inception here in Alberta 35 years ago. And quite frankly, Ronald McDonald Houses would not exist without the good work of Carly and her colleagues within the McDonald system. Carly, what does it mean to you that there's a Ronald McDonald House right here in your community now?
Well, it's beyond amazing. And like you said, McDonald's being a forever and a founding partner, we've been involved for so many years. From my perspective, personally, it's been through the houses across Alberta. And now we can actually support the one in our area community. So,
wow.
Very special.
The thing about McDonald's is they're supporting us 365 days of the year. And they're raising money for us, which is critically important. But equally important is the brand ambassadorship that Carly and her crew members, her management are engaged in every single day. We have tremendous awareness right across the country, and that helps us raise money outside of McDonald's. And we're so thankful for every dollar that you generate, as well as for all of the different ways that you help the community get to know what we're doing. Carly, in the restaurants, what are the various ways that money is being generated for the families?
Yeah, of course. So every day we're doing things to contribute back to the Ronald McDonald Houses. Some simple things are just a small portion of our proceeds from Happy Meals, also our cookies, and of course through our coin boxes and our kiosk donations as well.
Awesome. Well, thanks for being here, Carly.
Thank you for having me.
So here, once you move further into the house, we've got our dining room and our kitchen. Of course, this is the hub of every home. And, a few times I've used the term home, and that's an important distinguishing word between house and home. This is a place where families come and they can feel welcomed. They have an opportunity to forget about some of the challenges that might be existing with the health of their child. They can be nourished with a meal. They can have their spirit nourished with the support of volunteers and the community that's rallying here every day for those families to make sure that they can focus on their child getting well. We're set up to accommodate everybody that would stay in the house. So should all 6 of our bedrooms be full, we would be very excited to provide them with a warm meal every night. Our Home for Dinner program brings volunteers to the Ronald McDonald House, and from scratch, they cook a meal to serve to the families here every single day. And then in addition to that, in the kitchen, we've got a pantry of items that they can draw on, some grab-and-go foods for breakfast and lunch. And let me tell you, there's never any shortage of food at the Ronald McDonald House. The kitchen is set up so that we've got ample amenities to accommodate a number of families, up to 6 as I mentioned earlier on. And here we've got Mayor Ted from the City of Medicine Hat. I'd expect to find you in the kitchen because earlier when you arrived here, you talked about how much you were looking forward to some McDonald's baked goods.
I was thinking more about the burgers, but no, this is great. I mean, obviously the kitchen is a gathering place, and for most families, and a place where you can calm and have that conversation at the end of the day. So it's obviously a very beautiful kitchen.
Dan, what does it mean to the city of Medicine Hat to have a Ronald McDonald House?
I'm so proud that we've been chosen, as one of the 4 in the province of Alberta. You can see the hospital right out here, through this window. And as someone who has sat, at the bedside of family members in foreign cities or outside of Medicine Hat, that extra stress of having to find a place to stay at night, it can be that tipping point or that overwhelming part. So just to have this peace of mind that you have a place close by the hospital is excellent.
Ted, should I be surprised that we've been embraced the way that we have? I've been blown away by how the community has really taken us under their wing, and are so excited that we are here in the city. Is that just part of who you are?
So I go to a lot of charity events, and I always talk about how proud I am to be the mayor of this city. It never ceases to amaze me how everybody in this community steps up at every single event. I'm standing here looking at some of our community leaders right now that you've just talked to, and Gerald, his tenacity to get some of this work done, of course the Yule family, of course Craig, of course Carly with McDonald's. You see this everywhere you go in Medicine Hat, be it a cancer run or be it for diabetes. It's just, it's amazing, and that's part of the beauty of a small city, I think.
Yeah, well said. Here in the dining room is that fella that Ted mentioned, Gerald Friedman, and his wife Elaine. I'm catching you on the spot here a little bit, but I wanted to say thank you for all the good work that you've done for our house. Gerald and Elaine, they've led the fundraising that we've done here in Medicine Hat, and we've just seen such incredible success. And that doesn't happen by fluke. Gerald and Elaine have been busy and tireless in their efforts to let Medicine Hat know that Ronald McDonald House is coming to town. And Gerald, Elaine, you've really done an amazing job generating funds for this organization to make sure that we can operate.
Thank you very much.
to do it.
Tell me about your motivation. Why did you get involved with us in the first place, and what kept you going?
Well, it started actually with myself. Elaine said that she was retiring from fundraising after doing $10 million Esplanade donations, and I just said, well, I'm with the food bank, and it's been 15 years, and it's not a life sentence, so I'm going to move on to another organization. And Ronald McDonald House is moving here, and I think I'm going to get involved in fundraising for them. And I asked her if she wanted to get involved, and she said, no, not really. I'm retired. And some folks came down, including yourself, from Calgary, from the Ronald McDonald House, and Elaine met with them, and woke up the next morning and said, you know what, I think I'm going to come out of retirement and help you. So that's how it started, and in 2.5 months, we did all 18 room namings, and obviously we just had a big donation from Danny and Cindy Meyer, and we're continuing. So I don't want people in Medicine Hat to think that we're not going to be phoning them.
It's not over.
It's not over until it's over.
Well, Gerald, it's not inexpensive to run a Ronald McDonald House because we invest in families, and that costs money to make sure that they can stay focused on their child getting well next door. And so whether it's the fundraising you've done to date or the fundraising that comes in the future, you can be rest assured as donors and supporters of our organization that we're going to stretch those dollars as far as we possibly can. I understand that during our Facebook Live conversation, some questions have come in from the community. And just want to say thanks to Julie List, our Director of Marketing and Communications, for organizing today's event and for helping to get this off the ground. So without any further ado, question number 1, who can use the house? Well, that's an excellent question. And it's very simple. Eligibility comes down to one thing: where you live. And if you are outside of the city of Medicine Hat, you are eligible for a stay here at the Ronald McDonald House if your child is receiving active treatment at the hospital next door. Now, it doesn't stop there. There's also opportunities for people here in Medicine Hat to get the same lift and shot in the arm that we provide families that are from out of town. people can participate in our day use program. So if you happen to be treated outpatient or you're visiting a clinic next door, you could come over for lunch, for example, and have a bite to eat and to speak with the other families that are staying here at the Ronald McDonald House. The second question that we have is, how can one volunteer? Well, heck, you can see I'm surrounded by amazing people, and we need many, many more. And there's a lot of ways that you can get involved. And to do so, it's really easy. You just need to make contact with Cassie Hyder, the general manager who you met earlier, or one of the staff or volunteers that's positioned here at the house. And you can find our contact information online at rmhcalberta.org. And there's so many ways that you can contribute. We need people to mow the lawn. We need people to bake cookies. We need people to help turn over rooms when families leave after their stay. You can stuff envelopes. You can help at an event where we're fundraising or raising money. So if you've got a will, we've got a way to put you to work here at the Ronald McDonald House. And you can know that every ounce of effort that you put into this organization is going to translate to an improved experience for a family that's facing rather dire circumstances next door at the hospital. And it looks like the third question that we have is, when can we start cooking dinner for families? Well, I talked earlier about Home for Dinner. It's so important that we keep families nourished so that they can make good decisions about their child's care, and so that they don't have to worry about their schedule being interrupted to run out to grab groceries and do those sorts of errands. Orientation for our Home for Dinner program is going to be starting at the end of October, and then beginning in November, volunteers will arrive at the Ronald McDonald House here in Medicine Hat for the very first time. And we're counting down the days, because there's no better way for a member of the community to get a sense of the value of their support than coming here to the house, making a meal, and delivering it in person to the families that are staying here. So I encourage all of you that are watching to give us a call and to get into the schedule, because we'd love to take advantage of those culinary skills that you put to work at home or maybe at the restaurant that you work at to make sure that our families are looked after. Thank you so much for joining us here at RMHC Alberta and at our Medicine Hat House. I've just got a message coming to me here from the opposite side of the building. Judy, what am I missing before we sign off?
If any other questions have come through during the broadcast, we will hop on the comments section after and we'll answer them.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Thanks so much. It's been our pleasure to host you here at our brand new facility. We couldn't be any prouder, and it's really thanks to you that we're even here in the first place. Whether you're a volunteer, a donor, whether you're a part of the McDonald's community, you work at the City of Medicine Hat, there are just so many places that people have come out of the woodwork to ensure that this project gets off of the ground and that we can serve families forevermore. I hope you have a great afternoon, and keep your eyes peeled for that next Facebook Live notice where we can reveal that extra special space behind that hidden door downstairs. Take care.